A million people in the crowd, but I only see your face in all the lights. And as the bass keep pounding on me, baby, I really wanna make you mine. I don't really care about love, I don't really care about happy ever after. Something about you gives me hope, something about you, yeah.
Hey guys, how are you all doing? It's Demi. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if you're just joining us now, welcome! So for today's video, as you can probably tell by the title, I'm going to be sitting down doing a girl talk video. I've not done a video like this, I don't think ever. I've like talked about certain topics and did videos on one topic, but I've never sat down and talked about a bunch of different topics that you've wanted us to talk about. And today I'm just going to sit down and have a proper girly chat with you. It's like you're at mine, it's like we're just having a cuppa together and we're getting into a real deep conversation. That's what today's video is going to be like. I'm going to sit down and have a real girly chat with you, sharing my opinions, advice, tips, tricks and experience in different topics. I am going to leave I am going to leave timestamps in the description below. If there's a particular topic you're interested in, then you can just click to that timestamp instead of you having to listen to every single topic, because I feel like this video is going to be quite a long one, because I picked these topics particularly because I feel like I do have either strong opinions on them or enough experience to talk about the topics. So I don't want to obviously rush through the topics. I do want to be as informative as I can. And with that being said, I am going to leave the timestamps below, and if you're only interested in one or two topics, then you can just hear what I have to say about them. But if you're interested in the full video, I do really appreciate it if you could support it by giving it a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already, and leaving a comment below. Today's secret word is going to be, ooh, I'm running out of words, period. Okay, can we just appreciate the background as well? I was literally like, what can I put on the screen of my Mac that looks cute? And I was like, a fire. Everybody loves a bit of a fire. So I hope you're getting cozy vibes from today, and I do have my candle lit. This is my favourite candle company. Apart from Blank Homeware, who are like my favourite decor candles, this is Wellness by Manual, and I love their candles. So basically, sorry, I'm off tracking here, but the candles are so amazing because basically once the full candle's burnt, you use the tub as a pot, and they actually send you seeds. So the paper that the candle's wrapped in is seeded paper, and then you plant your seeded paper and you have a plant pot with plants after your candle. So I just think it's an amazing brand. They do gorgeous luxury hampers, which I know there's a few people who I will be getting for their birthdays, but I just want to tell you about my candle. We've got the lavender one on today, so I think it's called Unrewind. Anyway, it's the lavender one, so we're really just cozy vibes in the room today. So the first topic that was really popular and that people wanted to hear my thoughts and opinions on was regular sex in long-term relationships. Do you think it's important? Like, you know, just what's my vibe on it really? You know, how do I feel about it? And I feel like sex in general is such a, I feel like in today's society it is quite a taboo subject. And I feel like, you know, I'm the type of person who's always talked very openly with various different members of my family, and that's just the way that I am. Growing up, I was very sex obsessed. I actually talked about this in a video I'd done with my mum, which I'll have linked below. Actually, I have done one video similar to this where I did it with my mum and we had like a real deep chat conversation, and we actually touched upon this. But as a child, I was sex obsessed. Anytime there was a sex scene on the telly, I wanted to rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it. I used to constantly talk about sex to my mum. I think she was a bit worried about it. And I hadn't had sex at a really young age. I lost my virginity at 16. But as a child, I was so fascinated with the idea of sex. Like the thought of sex, just everything about sex, I was fascinated with as a child. And for me, I never seen it as a taboo subject. So growing up, I remember I would openly speak about sex to my grandparents, my mum, even my dad. Like, it's not something that's ever bothered me. I find it interesting more than anything else, and I'm always intrigued to know about people's sex life. Do they have one? Do they not? And yeah, it's something that I've just never ever hidden away from. It's never something that I've been shy to talk about. And I definitely think we're moving forward in the world where it is becoming becoming more like that. Like, it's not as such a taboo subject as it used to be, and I love that, because you know what, it's as normal as getting in the shower. So why it's always had that taboo secrecy around it and people talking about it, I've never quite understood, because it is literally as normal as getting in the shower. So I do not understand the tabooness around talking about sex. So moving on to the topic, regular sex, do you think it's important in relationships? And this is something that honestly I feel like is such a personal thing, and it's down to the individuals in that relationship, because no two people are the same, so no two relationships are going to be the same. And you have such a variety of relationships, from relationships between a male and a female, to males, to females, monogamous relationships. You have so many different relationships. Monogamous, is that two people? Because that actually meant, you know, when there's like multiple people in a relationship, but I can't, oh, that is that poly, I don't know. But then you also have friends with benefits, and there's so many different types of relationships out there that I feel like it really does depend on each relationship and how them two people feel within that relationship as to whether or not they're going to have good sex, bad sex, vanilla sex, spicy sex, like whatever sex you want, boo, you have that sex. I personally feel like regular sex is important in a relationship. I feel like it depends on the people in that relationship. Some people feel like sex is really important in a relationship because they feel it's that intimate bond with the other person, and they feel like that's how they connect with the other person. And for some people, I'd imagine then, yes, it is a really, really important part of a relationship, because that's the bond with their partner, and that's how they feel they connect with that partner. And you know, if that's how people feel, that's amazing for them. But then I guess for other people, sex just doesn't really hold that same value, and it wouldn't really mean that much to them. And I can say, and I know people, and I've spoken to people where they're just not that interested, and it's not the be all and end all if they go months without having sex. And I just feel like whatever you feels right for you in your relationship. Personally, for me, I like a bit of a happy medium. I feel like if I go too long without it, I do start to feel a little bit distant and detached. But then I feel like there's periods as well in my relationship, and just with me and myself, where I just feel like I'm not really into it, I'm not vibing with it, and I don't want it as much as I would usually want it. So I feel like for me it really is just dependent. There's been phases where I've been like proper obsessed, proper into it. Then there's been phases where I'm just like, I need to take a step back, like I'm just not feeling them vibes today. Do you know what I mean? I feel like this is such a personal thing to talk about that it is literally going to differ from relationship to relationship, and no one answer is going to be standard for everybody. But I feel like a lot of this video is going to be like that, because the subjects that I'm talking about are very personal subjects, and they will all be different for different people in different relationships, and just what works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for everyone. Okay, the next topic we're going to talk about is losing weight and being in the right mindset to lose weight. This is something that I have struggled with literally all of my life. All of my life I've gone in ups and down periods of wanting to be on track and lose weight and be fit. And then I've been on periods where I've been really, really unhealthy, not exercising, not moving. I've had really bad binge eating disorder. So I feel like I've definitely had both ends of this. And there's definitely been periods in my life where I've really been on track and I've really been into fitness. But then there's been periods in my life where it's like the worst thing ever, and it feels like torture. And being in the right mindset to lose weight is just a very strong statement, because I truly believe if you are not in that mindset, you're going to really struggle and you're not going to be able to do it. And it's so funny because your mindset on it can change so quick. 2 weeks ago, I was all up for getting fit. I was all up for healthy eating. But then all of a sudden, over the last 2 weeks, it's completely changed, and I'm in a bit of a pit again, where Sean's at work, I'm eating a hell of a lot of food, binge eating food, constantly ordering takeaways, not really being very active, doing the bare minimum that I have to do. And I feel like my mindset has to be in it to want to lose weight, or else I'm not going to be able to do it. But trying to get into that mindset is so hard, and I try all these tricks, and there's things that slightly work for us and things that like just don't work at all. But it's so hard to find the mindset, focus on the mindset, and actually think, right, I want to like lose weight, I want to do this. I feel like if this is something you are continuously struggling with, the thing that I will say is there is help available, and definitely don't be scared to speak to your doctor, because there's been times where I've really struggled, and honestly it's something I'm considering speaking to my doctor about again, because at the minute I am binge eating a hell of a lot, and I don't feel this is something I can strongly say to somebody, go and do this, because honestly, like, I struggle with it as well on a daily basis. I struggle with being in the mindset of wanting to eat healthier, wanting to better myself. And when I talk about losing weight, a lot of people are so confused because they always go, but you're body positive, so why do you want to lose weight? And I just totally believe that you can love yourself as you are now but still want to change, and that's something that I believe so strongly about. And for me, it's something that I'm currently going through. I love myself at the minute. I'm so confident with myself at the minute, but I know that it's not healthy, and I know my lifestyle isn't great for my body, and it's not going to be great as I get older. So I do need to change, and I do need to change my lifestyle, and that I can't love myself in the process of doing that. Yeah, honestly, I feel like my only advice is to speak to people, speak to your doctor if you're able to, because it's definitely something that I'm going to have to do. I know that I am, because I just cannot get out of the mindset of constantly thinking about food, binge eating when I'm by myself to the point where I feel sick. Like, yeah, it's definitely a struggle, and food and eating the right amount of food and mindset around food and diet and everything is a huge struggle for me, and it has been for years, and I totally relate to anybody who also feels them struggles. Number 3 is about Botox, fillers and surgery. So I personally have never had any filler, any Botox or any surgery. There is a surgery that I really want, and it's a boob reduction. I've wanted a boob reduction since I was very young. More or less as soon as I grew tits, I wanted them off. Like, I hated them. And I think for me, the reason I've always wanted my boobs reduced is just because I just feel they make us look disproportionate, and they are large for the size. Well, not now. They've got bigger now because I've put weight on, but even when I was really thin, I had a large chest compared to the size and frame of my body. And it was always something that made us just feel so shit, because they're quite saggy boobs as well. And I always dreamed of having like a nice little perky boob. And I used to see these girls with like an A, B and C cup, and honestly, I was jealous. I was like, I want that. I want to be able to run down the stairs and not fear of being knocked out because of me tits. That's just what I want. But for me, I feel like surgery, cosmetic and fillers is definitely not something I would ever rule out. It's not something that I think people shouldn't do. I feel like if something's available for you to enhance yourself and do something to your body that's going to make you feel more confident in yourself, then why would you not want to do that? And I think, you know, in today's day and age, the fact that we have that available to us, yes, it's expensive, but the fact that we can actually have these surgeries and do these things, I think is amazing. But I feel like it can also have a sad turn as well, where people feel pressured into getting fillers and Botox because of society and because of the way that they look, which I think can have a sad negative effect as well. Because I've seen people who felt that, because I've seen people before, or know of people before, who felt that sad with the way that they look, that they felt like fillers is the only option. And I feel like that's a really sad mindset to have on it. However, if you want it for yourself and you know that it's going to make you feel better about yourself, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I feel like we need to get rid of this stigma of people taking the piss out of people who've like got loads of surgery to make themselves look completely different. Because if that's what that person wants to do, and if they feel amazing, then let them feel amazing. You know, it doesn't matter what you think of them. It's their body, it's their choice, and if they want it, let them have their moment. Let them be the main character in their life. Filler without filler, Botox without Botox. Like, I'm just sick of this like constant judgment of people who don't even know as well. Just like, let people have their moment. Let them be the main character in their life. Whether that's with a face full of filler, if they want that, let them have that. If that's what their main character has, let their main character have a face full of filler. If it makes them happy, it's not affecting your life. You don't have to do anything about it. Like, I just hate this like a thought process of like, you can have these strong opinions on other people, but yet in a matter of fact is you don't know that person, you don't know why they chose to do that, and even if you do, it's none of your fucking business at the end of the day. It's their life, their body, their choices. Let them do them. It's not affecting you. So yeah, I feel like my opinions on Botox and fillers and surgery is you do you, and if I can get a boob job one day, I am going to grab it with both hands. I really want the boob job. So yeah, that's my opinions on that. Number 4 is a topic that I really wanted to talk about, and it's about the pressure to have children. Oh my god, this is something I 100% feel at the minute. Now, I'm 24 years old, so I feel like I'm at the prime age where people don't expect you to maybe have children, but it is kind of a topic that gets brought up a lot, whether it's with your friends, your family, your partner, it is a topic that does get brought up, because you're at that age where, you know, it is maybe an age where people would consider start having a family within the next few years. So obviously, you know, some people aren't lucky enough to have a family straight away, and you do have to try for quite a few periods of years. Some people aren't lucky to have families at all, and have to go down other routes. So I feel like it is something that is widely talked about at this age. And for me, it's been something that I've often struggled with, because I've never ever been a motherly person ever in my entire life. Like, I look at a child and I'm really sorry, but I just don't get it. I don't often find children cute. I don't often have the patience to tolerate children. I just haven't got that naturally motherly instinct in us, and I find it very hard to connect with children. It's something that I feel I've never had naturally. Whether I got pregnant and had that connection with my own children, I feel like would be a completely different story. But at the minute, I've never had that connection with a child, and I never grew up around loads of babies and young children, so it was really hard to kind of have a connection with babies because I never grew up with them. But I definitely feel the age I'm at now, people ask a lot, especially on YouTube. Being online, I feel like it's most prominent. People will say, are you going to have children anytime soon? Are you and Sean trying for a baby? And I feel like a lot of YouTubers around my age are having children and starting families, and that's great for them, like so happy for them, but it's never ever been something I wanted or I dreamt of. So for me, it's kind of just like, not yet, no, no. And I feel like I'm constantly just saying no rather than explaining, you know, actually, I might not actually even want children. Like, why is it a kind of set in stone that every woman is going to want a child? That's not really how everybody is. And it's definitely not something I've felt. I did have a few months ago, or a few weeks ago, I can't remember when it was, but I did have a little moment where I was sitting there and I was like, you know what, maybe I do see kids in my future, maybe I do see a future with kids. And at the minute, I just feel like I'm so undecided that I really don't know. I'm 24, I really don't see kids in the next 5 years. I feel like if I am going to have kids, it's going to be early 30s, so maybe 31, 32, 33, 34 if I'm lucky enough to have children. Then I feel like that's the age I would really want them, because at the minute, my mindset at the minute, the life I have at the minute, I just wouldn't want a child in my life right now. And I feel like I'm just too immature, I'm too selfish. Like, I have not got the patience, the time or the energy to want to look after and care for a child, and that's just me being brutally honest. Like, I really haven't. There's a lot more things in my life that I want to focus on, and there's a lot more things in my life that I want to do and achieve before I can give my all and really focus on being a mum or a parent. And yeah, the thought of me being a mum now just makes us feel quite ill, because it's just not something that I want at all. So yeah, that is my thoughts on that. But I definitely feel like the pressure needs to stop. Like, people need to stop asking. I feel like people need to stop asking, are you gonna have children anytime soon? One, because not everybody wants children, but two, some people can't have children. And imagine how damaging and heartbreaking that is to constantly be asked that question if you've been trying for a child for absolutely years. Like, I just feel like it needs to be a question that's not asked. I feel like we need to ask people about their sex life more, but not ask them about if they want children. Because it's such a sensitive topic that, you know, like I said, there's many reasons as to why people might not have children yet. Anyway, that's my thoughts and opinions on it. Let us know yours below. 5, being confident in yourself. This is something that I post a hell of a lot about on my Instagram and TikTok. I keep them very body positive focused, and it's something that I really love to spread the message about on their platforms, and I feel like they're really good platforms to be able to spread the message about. It's definitely something that in my adult life I've always felt. I've always felt confident in myself, my body, who I am, what I represent. And yeah, and that doesn't mean that, you know, as the years have progressed, I haven't changed, my opinions haven't changed, my body hasn't changed, me as a person hasn't changed. You're always changing, you're always evolving, and that's good, that's healthy. If you're not changing and evolving, then you're going to be stuck in the same mindset, and I feel like that's quite bad and damaging. I've always been a very confident person. I feel like that's just the person that I am. After leaving school, I kind of just really got into this new mindset of, I've wasted my full school years worrying about what people think of us, that now I'm not going to do that anymore, and I'm not going to have them worries, because what's the point? They didn't get us anywhere in life. A lot of the time they just made us sad and depressed at school. I wasted a lot of time at school. Instead of going out with friends and enjoying life, I wasted a lot of time worrying about what I looked like, the weight that I was, what people thought of us. And as I left school, I just kind of thought, wow, I've wasted so much time that at the end of the day, when I left school, I hardly seen anybody that I went to school with. And I doubt me, Demi Donnelly, had an impact on my had an impact on anybody's life when I left school, so why did I let them impact my life so much in school? And that's the way that I say it now. Like, I really just don't care what people think, because at the end of the day, then people aren't the ones who have a genuine impact on your day-to-day life. And if you feel good in yourself, and if you feel passionate and strong about what you're doing, then I honestly feel that's what you want. You want to just feel self-love for you, because the only person you need approval from is yourself. And that's the way I truly feel. Like, you don't need Tom's approval, you don't need Jerry's approval, you just need your own approval of yourself and what you're doing and what you feel is right. And I feel like that is definitely the way to look about it, instead of constantly thinking, well, what you gonna think of us, I'm gonna look stupid, I'm gonna be embarrassed. Because why? You're not, like, you know, other people's opinions should never define what you do and what you want to do, because people are going to judge you no matter what. If you go to prison, people are going to judge you. If you're winning an award, people are going to judge you. Like, people will judge you no matter what path your life takes. So let it be a good one. Write them a story, give them something to judge, give them something to watch, and that's what you want to think. This video is way longer than I expected it to be already, because I was just to move on to the next topic, which is number 6, and it was going to be depression and experiences. But this video, well, it's currently, I've got 50 minutes of footage, and I feel like when I edit it down, it's going to be about half an hour. So what I'm going to do is pause this video here, and I'm going to do part 2, because I don't want it to be like too long, because I feel like if not, this is going to be like a 2-hour video, and that's a bit too much. Who wants to sit for 2 hours and listen to us? Nobody. That's far too much. So I'm going to pause this video here, and then I'm going to do part 2, where I'll talk about depression, marriage, the pressure to be married, contraception, long-term relationships, school bullying, parents divorcing, failed friendships, and bereavement. So if you want to hear my opinions on all the next topics, then make sure you do come back for part 2, because I've just realised how long this video is. So I'm going to come back for part 2 very soon. It'll probably be next week, because I don't want to post like 2 of the same videos in 1 week. So next week, hopefully part 2 of this video will be up. I really hope you enjoyed. Let us know your thoughts and opinions on any of the topics that I talked about today. What's your thoughts? What's your opinions? I really would like to have open discussions about them all in the comments. And remember to comment today's secret word if you were here at the beginning. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very shortly for another one. Bye!